Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 253 based on novel. So let's start. The three people beside him clenched their teeth. If they didn't act now, they would have no chance at survival. One of them formed a seal and then the surrounding vegetation began to grow like crazy and rushed at Wang Lin. There was another person who opened their mouth and spat out a black bead that closed in on Wang Lin. The last cultivator formed a seal and hundreds of puppets rushed out to attack Wang Lin. However, at this moment, the eyes of the cultivator that sent out the good lit up and he quickly retreated. However, the moment he retreated, the other three also moved. It seemed like they all had the same idea. The four people escaped in four different directions. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and the celestial sealing stamp charged out. All the attacks collapsed under the celestial sealing stamp that was hundreds of feet wide. It then flashed out after one of the four. There was a loud bang. After it smashed down, it charged after another. Hundreds of thousands of golden runes filled the area, but four of them were filled with intelligence. Wang Lin stared at the very special four runes among them. His eyes lit up and he came up with a bold idea. If I fuse the 1 billion soul flag and the celestial seal stamp, Wang Lin's heart skipped a beat. Rumbling sounds continued to echo, and a moment later, the celestial sealing stamp returned. The amount of runes that contained intelligence increased from 4 to 7. Wang Lin grabbed the celestial sealing stamp and disappeared. Shigonghu's face was pale as he quickly moved through the forest. The moment he appeared, he was locked onto by a killing intent. If it wasn't for the fact that his reaction was fast and he quickly dodged, he would have died the moment he appeared. Nevertheless, he was still injured when he dodged. His face was pale and he quickly escaped. Behind him, the big-headed boy quickly gave chase. His foolish smile still remained on the big-headed boy's face. His smile toward Shigonghu was cold. He raised his hand and threw a flash of purple light. The purple light quickly turned into a purple and dozens of feet tall. This ant was extremely ferocious. After it appeared, it let out a roar and charged forward with its giant ant forceps. It was far faster than Shigonghu, and it mercilessly pinched in his direction. The smile on the big-headed boy became even colder. He could already see the cultivator before him being torn in half by the profound heavenly ant he had raised. The big-headed boy muttered, "Unfortunately, I can't open my bag of holding here. Otherwise, I would have just collected his origin soul and there would be no need to send out the profound heavenly ant." At this moment of crisis, Shigonghu's eyes lit up and he turned around to spit out a fist-sized ball of thunder at the ant chasing him. The thunder let out a rumble as it headed toward the ant. However, the difference between their cultivation levels was too great. Just as the thunder closed in on the ant clamped it with its forceps and the ball of thunder collapsed. A thunderous roar echoed, but the ant completely ignored the impact and charged forward. Its forceps gave off a cold aura as it mercilessly clamped down on Shigonghu. Shigonghu let out a miserable smile. From the moment he appeared to now, it had been less than 15 minutes, and he had spent it all on survival. He hadn't managed to kill anyone yet, and he was about to forfeit the battlefield. However, just at this moment, Shigonghu's eyes were filled with surprise. He felt a familiar aura suddenly close in. There was a flash of golden light and a cold voice filled the heavens and earth. "Seal." The moment that word was spoken, golden runes suddenly condensed around Shigonghu. With a bang, the ant's forceps pinched down on the golden runes. With a flash, the countless golden runes fused, creating a golden storm. As the storm swept by, the profound heavenly ant trembled and quickly retreated. The foolish smile on the big-headed boy immediately froze and he stared ahead. His expression became gloomy and then he retreated without hesitation. Wang Lin stepped out from the jungle behind Shigonghu. The celestial sealing stamp floated before Wang Lin and released a soft golden glow. "My lord." Shigonghu's face was filled with respect. Wang Lin nodded and his gaze swept the retreating big-headed boy. He coldly said, "Still want to run?" He took a step and immediately moved hundreds of feet. The celestial sealing stamp directly charged out. The big-headed boy's cultivation level was the same as Wang Lin's, early-stage Nirvana Scryer. He had witnessed Wang Lin's rise during the 3 trials, so now he was extremely afraid of Wang Lin and didn't want to provoke Wang Lin needlessly. The big-headed boy's foolish smile had already disappeared and he quickly shouted, "Fellow cultivator Shu Mu, I'll just leave this area. Why must you aim to kill? Our cultivation levels are the same, so if we battle, you will be injured. Don't give that Shu Ting a chance." Wang Lin's eyes were cold. As he stepped out, he raised his hand. A heavenly chop fused into his hand and he mercilessly chopped down. The big-headed boy's expression changed greatly. As he retreated, the profound heavenly ant let out a roar and blocked in front of the big-headed boy. The moment the heavenly chop touched the ant collapsed. The celestial sealing stamp flashed and one of the golden runes landed on the collapsing ant. That golden rune was immediately filled with intelligence. The big-headed boy's expression became pale. As he swiftly retreated, his hand formed a seal and he shouted, "Celestial spell, embrace." After he said that, a ripple spread out around him. As the ripple spread out, the surroundings began to change. Different fierce beasts began to appear, and they all let out an angry roar as they rushed at Wang Lin. "Let's use you to test my power over thunder." Wang Lin's voice was like the winter wind. When it fell in the ears of the big-headed boy, the boy trembled. He remembered how Wang Lin had devoured the thunder spirit during the earth trial. He felt bitter and quickly retreated after he cast the spell. Wang Lin's eyes suddenly changed. A thunder that would cause people to tremble gathered like crazy. "The thunder of the heavens and earth is all under my control." Wang Lin didn't look at the big-headed boy but up at the sky. The ancient thunder dragon origin soul flew out from between his eyebrows and let out a roar. Roar? The ancient thunder dragon's roar that allowed it to control thunder once again echoed across the world. This roar was like heaven-splitting thunder. It sent out like a shockwave that shocked all the cultivators in the battlefield. The entire battlefield began to shake as if there was an earthquake. The entire world turned upside down and the sun and moon reversed. Shu Ting had just entered the black mist and was chasing a cultivator with a smile. He was about to devour the cultivator, but at this moment, he heard the roar that came from ancient times and felt the fierce vibrations of the battlefield. The black mist around him suddenly collapsed under the power of this roar. He was forced out of the mist with an aghast look as he gazed into the distance. As for the escaping cultivator, he coughed out a large mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. The cultivator felt like the sky had collapsed under the roar of thunder and like he was being pressed down into the ground. In the jungle, the 6-fingered cultivator was hiding inside a towering tree, waiting for prey. However, at this instant, the roar of thunder echoed across the sky. He suddenly turned pale. It was as if a force had charged into his soul and forced him out of his hiding place. He looked into the distance with fear in his eyes. This is the raw Shu Mu released in the Earth trial. Zhong Konlai was moving within the jungle when he heard that roar. His body trembled and he immediately sat down to cultivate. A moment later, his eyes lit up. His face was filled with joy and he rushed toward the roar. At this moment, all the cultivators in the battlefield heard the terrifying roar of thunder. It was as if the sky was going to collapse. The sky suddenly changed colors as thunder appeared high in the air and gathered in the distance. The earth shook violently, as if it was doomsday. It wasn't just the battlefield. Outside, in the Thunder Celestial Temple, the octagonal piece of wood in the air shook violently. Rays of thunder appeared and continued to move through it. Large amounts of lightning bolts appeared in the sky as if they were summoned. They all approached the piece of wood as if they were going to worship something. Master Flamespark suddenly stood up and stared at the octagonal piece of wood. His expression was gloomy and both of his hands formed a seal. Countless seals landed on the octagonal piece of wood and then the octagonal piece of wood gradually stopped shaking. At this moment, the surrounding cultivators all had various ideas about what was happening. After the roar, Wang Lin's ancient thunder dragon origin soul returned to his body. Endless lightning bolts surrounded his body. The area within 500 kilometers of him had turned into a thunder hell. As popping sounds echoed, large amounts of towering trees collapsed and burst into flames. At this moment, Wang Lin's eyes were filled with thunder and countless lightning bolts surrounded him. Wang Lin felt like he was the lord of all thunder. He raised his right hand and pointed at the big-headed boy, who was escaping and had almost lost his wit. Thunder, destroy. Thunderous roars echoed with the point of Wang Lin's finger. Then all the surrounding thunder rushed out violently at the big-headed body. If one looked at this from the air, one would see all the thunder within the area contract toward one point. That point of concentration was the big-headed boy. The thunder moved so fast that it instantly closed in. The big-headed boy's eyes revealed despair. At this moment, he had the illusion that he was facing all the thunder in the heavens. At the next moment, the thunder rushed into his body. A loud bang echoed across the entire battlefield once more. The big-headed boy's body was lit aflame and floated into the air. There were no remains of his body left. The cultivators inside the battlefield all looked up at the slowly disappearing thunder. Their hearts were filled with fear. This is that master demon's spell. Terrifying. If you meet that person, you will die. It is impossible for me to confront him with my power. This kind of spell is unheard of and heaven-shaking. Shu Ting stared dumbfoundedly at this and clenched his fist. He didn't notice that his fist was slightly trembling. In the Thunder Celestial Temple on the square, the big-headed boy suddenly opened his eyes and coughed out a large mouthful of blood. He immediately became dispirited. His expression was fierce as he suddenly stood up and looked around. He was startled and revealed terror. No? Master Flamespark shouted, "Sit!" The big-headed boy's body was trembling, his heart was pounding, his mind was a mess. Earlier, he wanted to go all out and find Wang Lin's body for revenge. However, when he looked around, he saw that there were only 108 people. 4 were missing. Could it be that in the one line to heaven, 4 of them didn't enter as avatars but went in with their real bodies? The big-headed boy's scalp went numb. He was secretly grateful he wasn't one of the ones that went inside with his body. His body was covered in cold sweat and he felt a wave of fear. No wonder I couldn't open my bag of holding. Only treasures with origin soul infused could be used. The big-headed boy took a deep breath and he still felt fear. In the battlefield, there was a flash of gold and a golden rune appeared. This rune had absorbed the dissipated avatar of the big-headed boy and was now filled with intelligence. Wang Lin retrieved the celestial sealing stamp. He looked at the stunned Shengonghu and slapped his bag of holding. After taking out some pills, he handed them to Shengonghu. Find a hidden place and focus on cultivating. Shengonghu took the pills. He was about to swallow them when his eyes suddenly narrowed. He looked at Wang Lin's bag of holding and after some hesitation he said, "My lord, you can open your bag." Wang Lin was startled and his eyes became gloomy. Hundreds of thoughts flashed through his head. With his intelligence, just one sentence from Shengonghu was able to make him understand. "You can't open yours?" Wang Lin gloomily looked at Shengonghu. Shengonghu shook his head. His divine sense went into his bag. Then he slapped his back and there was no response. Wang Lin remained silent as he turned around and stepped into the air. Shengonghu had some ideas in his head. After hesitating for a bit, he listened to Wang Lin and found a place to hide. Wang Lin traveled within the battlefield and revealed a sneer. What a good slaughter battlefield. There are real people among the fakes and fakes among the real. Master Flamespark's scheme really runs deep. I admire him. Excluding the 108 people outside, 4 out of 112 people came in with their real bodies. The 2 I killed earlier had their bags, so there is another one left beside me. I just don't know who it is. As Wang Lin moved, his divine sense spread without any restraint. If he noticed a cultivator, he would immediately rush over. Along the way, Wang Lin showed no mercy. Since this was a slaughter battlefield, if one entered, they were prepared to kill and be killed. If they died, it wasn't real death. As a result, all of the cultivators Wang Lin encountered found it difficult to escape. However, before Wang Lin attacked, he would check if the other person could open their bag of holding or not. If they couldn't, then he would attack. The same slaughter continued on the other side as well. Shu Ting released the black mist once more and swept across the area as he devoured everyone in his path. In the end, a lot of cultivators that had managed to get a kill simply killed themselves. This way, they wouldn't give the kill they gained to someone else. As time slowly passed, fewer and fewer cultivators remained in the battlefield. Wang Lin was fortunate. If the other party was obedient, then Wang Lin wouldn't attack. He would just wait for when they died and seal their avatar. However, Shu Ting's side was filled with violence. Even the ones that wanted to commit suicide, if they were slow, they couldn't avoid the fate of being devoured. There was night in the battlefield. When night descended, not many people remained. Wang Lin spread out his divine sense and walked toward Shu Ting. Shu Ting was someone he had to kill, even more so now due to the trace of source origin energy inside Shu Ting. Wang Lin had already detected it, so there was no way he was going to let Shu Ting go. Shu Ting also spread out his divine sense and locked onto Wang Lin. Then he entered the black mist and charged toward Wang Lin. All of the cultivators in his area had died, he was the only one left. He moved faster and faster until he was like a ray of light. His killing intent continued to grow until it reached a monstrous level. Shu Mu! An earth-shattering roar came from Shu Ting's mouth. Wang Lin's eyes were calm as his body floated in the air and he looked at the rapidly approaching Shu Ting. The black mist was covering the area behind Shu Ting. Then it condensed and formed a demonic shadow. It let out a roar as it charged at Wang Lin. I hope the last person that can open their bag is him. Killing intent flashed across Wang Lin's eyes. Shu Ting became even faster until he created a series of sonic booms as he charged at Wang Lin. There was a heaven-shaking bang. As Shu Ting closed in, the demonic shadow opened its mouth and attempted to devour Wang Lin. The celestial ceiling stamp grew to over 1,000 feet in front of Wang Lin. Then the golden runes flew out, causing a series of rumbling sounds. The two of them began a great battle in the air. On the ground, Shen Gonghu came out from his hiding place and stood on top of a tree. He intently watched the battle in the sky. At this moment, a hand suddenly tapped his shoulder. Shen Gonghu was terrified as he rushed out. Just as he was about to use a spell, he heard a chuckle. Don't be nervous. In fact, when he suddenly rushed forward, you were also scared me for a moment. Nan Gonghu smiled mischievously. He sat down next to Shen Gonghu, looked up, and exclaimed, to be able to watch such a spectacular battle during the night is one of life's great joys. Ah! As he spoke, he slapped his bag of holding, took out a pot of wine, and took a drink. Shen Gonghu stared at Nan Gonghan's bag of holding. He withdrew his gaze and sat down on a big tree not far away. Nan Gonghan took a big gulp and said with a depressed expression, "Hee, you found out. I can't help it, I was unlucky to have my actual body brought here. Fortunately, I found out early. Otherwise, if I had gone to carelessly kill like a fool and died, it wouldn't have been worth it at all. As a result, I found a place to hide and waited for it to end, then I come out when it was safe." In the distance, the six-fingered cultivator was sitting on a big tree. As he silently watched the battle in the sky, there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. "The two of you are the strongest, so battle. That way, I'll have a chance." He licked his lips and sneered. Shu Ting's demonic shadow and Wang Lin's celestial ceiling stamp collided, creating an earth-shattering rumble. This caused the entire battlefield to tremble. With a bang, Shu Ting's body was knocked back few dozen feet. The shadow followed Shu Ting. Wang Lin retreated 30 feet. His eyes were calm but filled with killing intent. As Shu Ting retreated, his hands formed a seal and a large amount of origin energy gathered in his body. Then the black vortex between his brows began to rotate faster and he shouted, "Snake devour." After he spoke, the demonic shadow before him began to move and in an instant turned into a 1,000-foot-long snake. The snake let out a roar and rushed at Wang Lin. Wang Lin had seen this spell before, so he knew of its power. At this moment, he raised his right hand, formed a seal, and said, "Call the wind." Black wind suddenly appeared from Wang Lin's right hand and filled the heavens and earth. Two black dragons formed and they let out a fierce roar before charging at the snake. Along with wave of cold air, the two intersected and devoured each other. However, Call the Wind was a celestial spell made by a celestial emperor. The snake only devoured one dragon before it let out a painful roar. Its body began to expand infinitely until it finally collapsed. The moment the snake's body shattered, the dragon that was devoured reformed. The two dragons charged at Shu Ting. Shu Ting's right hand formed a seal and pointed between his eyebrows as he shouted, "Mountain Spirit." The black mist erupted from behind his head and formed a thick mist before him. The mist quickly filled the heavens and earth before turning into a giant mountain. This mountain covered the sky as if it had replaced the sky. And then it smashed down toward Wang Lin like crazy. Wang Lin's expression was still calm as he stared at Shu Ting, but the killing intent in his eyes became even stronger. As the black dragons rushed out, he placed his right hand between his eyebrows. At this moment, he was no longer willing to waste time with this Shu Ting. Third seal, open. Wang Lin's voice was calm, but there was a trace of coldness in it. The red line between his eyebrows suddenly began to extend to both sides. The third eye opened and suddenly released a ray of unimaginably bright red light. This red light opened up like a fan and quickly spread. Due to one of the seals being released, 1/3 of the terrifying power that was sealed by Wang Lin merged with the red light. The moment the black mountain descended, it was shrouded by the red light. It began to disintegrate layer by layer. In just half a breath of time, it turned back into black gas and disappeared. Shu Ting's eyes were filled with terror and a powerful sense of crisis he had never felt before enveloped his body. He was terrified and wanted to retreat, but it was too late as the red light had landed on him. After the black mountain disintegrated, Wang Lin turned toward Shu Ting. Shu Ting felt his body tremble. It was as if tens of thousands of bolts of thunder had exploded in his body. Everything disappeared, but not even the thunder roar could cover his increasing heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. His heart rate reached a limit, as if it was going to explode. All of his blood and origin energy began to cycle like crazy, almost out of his control. The black mist between his eyebrows struggled as if it wanted to leave his body. What kind of spell is this? Sweat came out from Shu Ting's body and his clothes were soaked. He was inside the red light and was unable to move, as if some force was holding him down. Endless waves of panic drowned him. That power roared inside the red light and rushed into his body. He clearly felt his body disintegrate layer by layer under the red light. First it was his skin, flesh, and bones. They all collapsed as if they were returning back to their source. After that, his origin soul devolved into a nascent soul and then again into a golden core. Finally, the golden core exploded and turned back into spiritual energy. This didn't end. The spiritual energy collapsed. His entire being was being wiped from existence as he let out a desperate scream. Even the sliver of source origin energy inside his avatar was extracted and disappeared after it fused with the red light. The red light disappeared and Wang Lin revealed an extremely tired expression. In a flash, he sat down on a big tree and quickly sealed the power between his eyebrows. This strange scene caused Nan Gonghan to spit out the wine he was drinking. His eyes were filled with fear. I can't beat him. Shen Gonghu took a deep breath and looked at Wang Lin. That red light just now caused the respected figure he saw in the Thunder Lake to reappear. While the six-fingered cultivator's eyes were filled with terror, there was also a flash of fierceness in them. He rushed out at Wang Lin. He must be injured, so this is the best chance to kill him. Once I can kill the master demon, even if this is only an illusory world, Zhu Xingdao, will become famous in the all-heaven star system. The six-fingered cultivator moved like lightning while his heart pounded. A flash of blue light appeared on his sixth finger. He was too fast and closed in on Wang Lin in an instant. Shen Gonghu's expression changed. He wanted to charge out, but it was too late. Nan Gonghu suddenly stood up and stepped out. Just as the six-fingered cultivator closed in on Wang Lin opened his eyes and revealed cold killing intent. Scram! That one word turned into endless thunder that rumbled in the sky. Countless bolts of thunder descended like crazy at the six-fingered cultivator. The expression of the six-fingered cultivator changed greatly. With just one word from Wang Lin, it was as if countless bolts of thunder had exploded in his mind. Wang Lin's prestige was too deeply engraved in his mind. He hadn't attacked yet, but his mind had already grown timid. His eyes were filled with terror, and he quickly escaped and didn't dare to attack. The thunder descended like crazy as he retreated. As the thunder rumbled, the six-fingered cultivator cursed in his heart as he struggled. However, more and more thunderbolts appeared and linked together. It looked like divine retribution. The six-fingered cultivator was terrified as the thunder continued to chase him. The rumbling echoed while he retreated. However, as he was retreating, Wang Lin stood up and took a step. The moment Wang Lin moved, thunder flashed out and caused two explosions. These two explosions were very loud and shocking. In the blink of an eye, Wang Lin caught up to the six-fingered cultivator. Two of his fingers formed a sword and he pointed forward. A bolt of thunder suddenly gathered from all directions toward the six-fingered cultivator. As the thunder descended, the six-fingered cultivator's face turned pale and he wanted to resist. However, Wang Lin's fingers absorbed all the thunder. A bolt of thunder that seemed like a bolt of thunder from ancient times shot out. It broke through all the spells and directly entered the body of the six-fingered cultivator. The raging thunder tore up his body and caused his origin soul to collapse. He let out a miserable groan and his origin energy leaked out. Then his entire body collapsed. The golden rune flashed and one of the golden runes fused with the six-fingered cultivator's soul. Then it became full of spirit and returned to the celestial sealing stamp. All of this happened in an instant. The six-fingered cultivator was killed by Wang Lin at almost the same moment that he tried to sneak attack him. Wang Lin's face was a bit pale. The third eye between his eyebrows gradually closed and the red line slowly disappeared. He then turned around and stared at Nan Gonghan, who appeared 100 feet away. "You want to battle with me too?" Nan Gonghan's expression was serious and carefully looked at Wang Lin. A moment later, he laughed and shook his head. "I can't beat you. I came because I wanted to help you take care of the person who launched the sneak attack." Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and sat down to cultivate. At this moment, clouds began to gather in the sky. 5-colored light came from the clouds and the light split into 3. One light landed on Wang Lin, another on Nan Gonghan, and the last on Shen Gonghu. Shen Gonghu's body trembled and he disappeared. Only Wang Lin and Nan Gonghan were grabbed by the 5-colored lights and dragged toward the sky. Wang Lin didn't lose consciousness this time. He saw a crack appear in the sky and was pulled into it. His vision blurred. When his vision recovered, he saw the cultivators on the square. Wang Lin's body flickered and he landed on the ground. Nan Gonghan landed almost at the same time he did. The 108 cultivators on the square had all awakened. Xu Ting's expression was extremely gloomy as he silently stared at Wang Lin. The six-fingered cultivator also looked at Wang Lin with a malicious gaze. Master Flamespark had a smile on his face as he stood up and slowly said, "My Thunder Celestial Temple bestows 108 celestials." With that, his right hand reached toward the void. The song of the Thunder Celestial Realm suddenly began to echo. This song was very beautiful, as if it was the song of the heavens. Large amounts of clouds began to gather during the song and the celestial spiritual energy in the air became rich. It made this place look like the celestial realm. A few cranes flew and let out cries that lightened people's hearts when they heard them. If one looked from a distance, combined with the Thunder Celestial Temple, this place was no different from the real celestial realm. The surrounding cultivators all stood up along with their families' ancestors. They all had respectful expressions and formed a dense crowd. Not only them, even the old monsters on the praying mat stood up and had serious expressions. On the other edge, the messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple all stood there with respectful expressions. At this moment, it wasn't only the Thunder Celestial Temple that was like this. The Thunder Celestial Temple had used a special method to transmit this scene to the entire All-Heaven star system. The cultivators from each cultivation family on each cultivation planet all had a sound transmission stone from the Thunder Celestial Temple. Not only could the Thunder Celestial Temple sound transmission stones transmit sound, it could also transmit images of what was happening. This was given out by the Thunder Celestial Temple for free. Aside from using it for the celestial bestowment, it would also be used to mobilize for the war against the Alliance star system. At this moment, almost all of the cultivators saw the scene of the celestial bestowment on the images displayed by the sound transmission stones. The Thunder Celestial Temple was located at the center of the All-Heaven star system. At this moment, a killing aura began to appear from the 4 domains around the Thunder Celestial Temple. On the east side, cultivators began to gather. They formed a dense crowd of at least 10,000. These cultivators were all wearing different clothes. They were obviously from different cultivation families. At this moment, they all silently looked ahead. There was a person covered by red armor standing before them. His white hair flowed behind him and his face was expressionless as he held the sound transmission stone. The scene at the Thunder Celestial Temple was being transmitted from the sound transmission stone. The south was the same. 10,000 cultivators sat in space with an old man leading them while they all stared at the stars. The west and north sides also had armies of cultivators like this. At this moment, the celestial bestowment at the Thunder Celestial Temple was being watched by all. In the Thunder Celestial Temple, a crane flew over with a piece of yellow scroll in its mouth. It circled around Master Flamespark before the yellow scroll fell from its mouth and was caught by Master Flamespark. He shook the scroll and it opened up before him. This scroll gave off rich celestial spiritual energy. It was obvious that it was a celestial treasure. There is a total of 110 remaining. Originally, 2 of you would be disqualified, but after the arduous test, the heavens will give you all a chance. The strongest 2 will be the Thunder Celestial and Vice Thunder Celestial. The remaining 108 people will be divided into 36 Heaven Celestials and 72 Earth Celestials. Master Flamespark paused here. His gaze swept past the cultivators before him and he shouted, "Shu Mu, come forward." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He then flew up and clasped his hands. "Present." Master Flamespark's expression was serious as he said, "You were ranked first in the human, earth, and heaven trials and 1 line to heaven. Shu Mu, I bestow upon you title of Thunder Celestial. You will lead an army of 3,000 as the vanguard in the attack on the Alliance star system." As Master Flamespark spoke, his right hand reached into the void and a golden celestial brush appeared. He waved the pen and wrote the first line on the yellow scroll. "Authentic Thunder Celestial, Shu Mu." Just as he finished writing those words, there was a flash of gold light and a roar came from inside the scroll. The words flew out from the yellow scroll and fused together to form a tiger made of thunder. This tiger was 100 feet tall. When it appeared, it let out a roar and rushed at Wang Lin. It stopped 10 feet from Wang Lin and shrank until it became a 3-inch tall flag. The image of the tiger flickered on the flag. "I give you the Celestial Treasure Heaven Tiger Flag. With this, you can command 3,000 All-Heaven Star System cultivators and form your own force." Master Flamespark's words rumbled as it spread in all directions. Wang Lin took the Heaven Tinger flag. He took a deep breath and clasped his hands. "Order received." At this moment, Wang Lin's appearance was clearly seen by all the cultivators of the All-Heaven star system. A storm went off in the All-Heaven star system. "He is Shu Mu. Master Demon Shu Mu, Thunder Celestial." This person went beyond the 108 Celestial. His cultivation must be amazing, and he is not one to be trifled with. On planet Renun, a beautiful woman looked up at the celestial bestowment showing in the sky. Originally, she didn't care and was about to withdraw her gaze. However, at this moment, she was startled. When she laid eyes on Wang Lin, she fell into a trance. That person was very familiar, as if she had seen him somewhere before. Not only her, but all the cultivators on planet Renun were staring at the sky. Monstrous waves were set off in all their hearts when they looked at Wang Lin. They couldn't settle down for a long time. On planet Qingling, many cultivators looked up at the sky. However, at this moment, all the elders of the families exclaimed, "Ancestor!" On top of Hengyun Peak, Xie awakened from his trance. He looked at the sky and his eyes became filled with excitement. He muttered, "Master!" On a remote cultivation planet, Yao Bingyun was sitting on the highest iceberg. She lifted her head and looked up at the sky. Her eyes revealed a very complex look. I didn't expect him to become the Thunder Celestial. In the northern domain, on a semi-wasted cultivation planet, a foul smell had appeared from it in recent years. Although the cultivators searched for it, they couldn't find the source. At this moment, within a valley on this planet, Greed looked up at the sky and revealed a vicious gaze. He actually achieved such high prestige in the All-Heaven Star System. At this moment, all the cultivators in the All-Heaven Star System that knew Wang Lin looked up at the sky. There was shock in all their eyes. In the Thunder Celestial Temple, Master Flamespark shouted, "Shu Ting, come forward." Shu Ting took a deep breath, then he quickly went up and stood there respectfully. "I bestow upon you the title of Vice Thunder Celestial and a 2,000 cultivator army. You will be the second vanguard." Although Shu Ting was unwilling in his heart, he had to yield. After pondering for a moment, he respectfully said, "Order received." After that, Master Flamespark continued calling out. The 108 celestial titles were all successfully given. Each cultivator obtained a flag and became a celestial. Thunder Celestial, Vice Thunder Celestial, 36 Heaven Celestials, and 72 Earth Celestials enter the celestial pool. Master Flamespark waved his sleeves and the yellow scroll disappeared. Then the clouds turned and condensed to form a pool that slowly descended from the sky. There was blue water inside the pool that gave off an aura that shook one's mind. Enter the celestial pool to allow your domain to melt and allow you to form your celestial origin. Then you will become a true celestial. Master Flamespark's voice echoed across the heavens and earth. This video will end here.